Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and today we start Curves Bootcamp. I know some of you thought like Curves Bootcamp is like you're changing your quilting channel to an exercise channel. Oh no. We're doing a bunch of quilt blocks with curves in them, and hopefully you'll get to sew along with these using the patterns, and you'll get better at sewing curves, or at least you'll have some fun trying out some new blocks and, you know, maybe developing a skill or two. Now, with this series, you might need a curve cutting ruler, right? We will try to give you the templates for all these, but this is the Easy Circle Cut Ruler by Sharon Hultgren. But today I'm going to show you how to make a Drunkard's path with tailor's chalk and a salad bowl. Okay, so you're like, well, what are you doing? Okay, but first, before we get moving into the sewing, I want to talk to you about Ivonne and the Jelly Roll Club. Now, the Jelly Roll Club is a fun YouTube channel that is... She was doing gnomes last year that they were the cutest gnomes ever. I couldn't believe how cute these guys were. And she has on her website, she's got hundreds and hundreds of free patterns. So if you see, if you see something you like, when you go check her out, tell her that Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you, and then, and like just, share, like, subscribe her with your friends as well. She's also a part of our Facebook group, and she's a very active member in there. And the other night, now when we're filming this compared to when she actually came, like, we're filming way ahead, right? So she actually did a little demonstration on EPP using her method of, and it was just like a lot of us were like, oh, that's really cool to do EPP that way. And we got some very positive feedback after, the next day about her. So go check her out. She's a lot of fun. Come to our Facebook group if you're part of the Facebook group. I'm not sure if while we're filming this, whether we're voting or we've decided on the next virtual sew date, but the Facebook group does, this channel and the Facebook group offers a once a month monthly sew date. But the Facebook group, we're using the room feature in the groups, and we're having all sorts of impromptu sew days. So it's up to you. Come join. It's a lot of fun. You get to meet a lot of fun people. So come on in. We've got some sewing and cutting to do with a salad bowl. Okay, I'm going to show you how my grandmother, now she worked in a lot smaller blocks. This is a 15-inch square. Now what you do, she would find the spot where it looked like the curve, like she would measure the bowl, and then she would take her curve and she would draw her chalk around. Just very simple little line that she would do, right? Now, that's going to make a very tiny little, border thing here. But you could do, with this, you could do all four sides, right? So you could have this, have your Drunkard's path on all of the corners, right? And basically, I think that's what we're going to do, because this is pretty tiny. So I'm just going to continue marking the rest of these, and we'll see where we're at here in a bit. Okay? I'll come right back. Okay, so all four corners, okay, if you can see this, all four corners are marked with tailor's chalk. Now, what my grandmother would do, this is where, the plastic templates are really nice. Now, I'm not going to sit here and make you, watch this whole process, right? But you very carefully just go around, cut gently around, and, you get those pieces free. Because what you're going to do next, I'll just cut out the rest of these here right away, right quick. Measuring your bowl, and then positioning your bowl is kind of a good idea. I forgot to do that. So you know that you've got like the quarter of the hemisphere or the circle, 1/4 of the circle. But yeah, that's how she would do it. And she said it didn't matter what bowl you use in the house as long as you use the same bowl, right? So, or the same plate. But, like I would have to get a really big bowl to make this work. Okay, so now all my circles are out. All my circles are cut out. and I am left with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew them like this, because I got 2 pieces of fabric here. But first, this piece has to be managed. Now what has happened is you're going to create a bit of a, oh, I just turned that around. I shouldn't have done that. Okay, so what's happened is you need to trim this part like by 3/8 of an inch. And I know that sounds really weird, but that's basically the difference between these templates and the circle, right? It's 3/8 of an inch. And without knowing that, I mean, you know, now you can make your own templates, so you don't have to worry about these, right? So let me just get the 3/8 off all these sides. And then from there, we can get sewing. I never understood why people didn't like curves. I mean, when I sewed clothes, I mean, I sewed clothes for myself. I wouldn't call myself a tailor, but I was sewed clothes, and it was always, you know, like you're always putting seams in or that aren't straight, or, you know, around the sleeve or something. But I guess when you're quilting, you know, it all of a sudden it changes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the pins out of this, and I'm going to take the pins out of this one. Hang on. Take the pins out of this one, and I'm going to take the purple and sew it here. Now, I got 2 pieces of cloth, so I'm going to take this and this and move it over to the sewing machine and get this, slide this out of the way. Now, they're both right sides up right now, right? So that works. Now that doesn't look like it's going to fit because I cut off 3/8 of an inch, right? But it does. Now, the first circle we're going to sew is with this part up. Because I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't matter which side you put up as long as it's comfortable. And if it makes sense to you, you do it that way. So what you want to do is 3 little straight stitches. And I go back. I don't have to, but I go back. Now it's a matter of gathering these 2 together, right? So you got to push and pull, you know, and I use the side of the very front of the foot here and the very side. That's where I'm going to start maneuvering these together. And I'm just going to take my time. Oops, I'm starting to lose my... I'm just going to sew very slowly, getting this all nice. There we go. Now you notice I haven't used any pins either, right? And I haven't marked anything, right? And because this is not a hard curve. This is not a real tight, you know, hard to sew curve. This is a fairly easy curve. Okay. Oh. There we go. And I'm just off just a hair. That's okay. There we go. Now we're going to sew, oh, I dropped this thing. Okay. Now we're going to sew the other one where this part is on the bottom and this part's on top. So this goes this way. This goes on the bottom. Now see, this you can't see where you have to start pulling them together, right? So that's where the problem is. So this is why everybody sews them the same way, right? They go like this. But this time I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to show you a little cheat that I found that works really good. And you just finger press that little press in there, and you double it this way, and you just go there. Now you got a little match thing going, and now you're going to do it again. So basically you got 3 little marks on here, and 3 little marks on here. And you're just gonna, now with those little marks, right, you're going to clip this just like 1/8 of an inch, just 1/8. Like you don't need to, you don't want to cut down to the thread line. And we've done this before on portholes, right? So you just like 1/8 of an inch. Where is it? Right there. Now we've done this on portholes before, right? So when you're doing this, and everybody gets confused, okay, which way do I put it? Now I've got a batik and a solid here, so this is going to create. So now I'm just going to do my 3 little stitches, 1, 2, 3, and back there. Now the first thing I'm going to try and line up is this divot, this little divot here, this wee tiny little divot. You see that? And this little divot. So that's the first thing I'm matching up. I'm not doing anything else but matching those two up. Now, sometimes people go back and forth over where that divot is because they think it's a little bit. Now, see, the next divot is right here. Right here. Do you see that where my finger is? No? Okay, right there and right here. And this is where the divot is. There. Right? So that's my 1/8. So now, all I'm going to do, I'm going to move this over just a hair and match that up with this. Pull this back so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, I'll get this out of the way. Now the next divot, you've marked it in 3 spots, right? And you're only going 1/4 around. So there's the one divot. And here's the other divot. So you're going at a smaller area. You're covering the smaller area with your sewing machine, right? Oops, this has got to get pulled back just a hair. And I'm going to show you how. Okay, now last bit is right to the end, so I'm going to match these ends up. And I gotta get a little closer to the edge so I can match them easier. And there we go. Now, let's take a look at these two. So this is a nice, neat curve, and yeah, I did okay, right? So let me get the next one started here. There we go. And I'll finish these blocks up and you can see where this Drunkard's path has gone. Okay? We'll be back to show you the ta-da moment. We'll finish all the other curves. So, I bet you weren't expecting a plastic salad bowl in your sewing room today being a useful tool. But here are the blocks we made. Now, I didn't even iron these. I was so excited to show them to you. And here we go, just really cute, really vibrant, really colorful. Now, you also make the negative or the opposite, right? Because you're cutting 2 at a time. Now, this could be very quickly turned into a Drunkard's path, right? Depending on how big you want your Drunkard's path, because you just slice this then this way into 4, right? But I think these look pretty cool, and they kind of look, you know, like a very weird snowballed block. So I'm going to keep these. Now, the fabric in the back wants to go to the corner, right? And you just let it. When you iron this from the back, right, you're going to iron this part flat so that it will lay flat on the front, right? So, you know, don't worry about, you know, okay, this is just the way this fabric wants to go. Now, if it wanted to go the other way, you might have to do some clipping on the back around your curves, but apparently this is what it looks like. So I'm going to get my cameraman just to show you this. Now, I use black in the bobbin, so I'm hoping you can see where that seam is. Okay, so you can see what we're doing from behind. The same one, I'm just going to finger press it so it goes the same way. And like I say, you can cut these into 4 and make 4 Drunkard's Path blocks, or you can just leave them like this. I think this block now finishes at about 13 inches, 13 and a half inches. So yeah, that's, I mean, I started out with, I think, a 15-inch block. So that can't be right. Yeah, it is. It's going to be right because you got to take your 3/8 off on every side. So yeah, it works out. So now you could trim this down to, because this is like 13 and a half, you could trim it down to 12 and a half and use it inside a quilt where your blocks are all 12 and a half, right? So this is kind of a fun, cute little thing that you can do with these. So I want you to have fun today. I hope you have an amazing week ahead. And you guys take care, and we'll see you later. Bye! My husband and I would love to thank you for coming along with us on our little fun adventure here that we're having. We do have a Facebook group now, and that Facebook group is got some very, very talented quilters in there, and we love sharing and you know, posting pictures and commenting, and it's been a lot of fun. And the advantage of the Facebook group is sometimes I drop patterns in there early, so you kind of get a hint as to what is coming next. After the nosegay sew along, we're going to be doing Curves Bootcamp right away. So we'll get you sewing those curves, and it'll be fun. It'll be a lot of interesting little blocks that we've got to work on. But we would like you to share, like, and subscribe. Telling your friends about us and letting them know that you kind of like our channel, that means so much to us here. So you take care. You have a fabulous week ahead. Okay, bye!